And now, live from the studios of WHUC, this is Real Talk, where we get you something to talk about.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me on another edition of Real Talk. I'm your host, Zhavian Green, and today we have a very special guest. He's a Utica graduate of the class of 1958. He also had a 28-year career in the United States Army, where he moved from Private E1 to the highest enlisted rank, Command Sergeant Major E9. Everyone, let's give a round of applause for Mr. Robert Johnson, Jr. Well, Mr. Johnson, can you tell me how does it feel to be back on the Utica campus?
I cannot describe it. It's more than I can describe, but I'm so glad to be back.
Yes, sir. Are there any changes since the last time you were here?
Yes, there are a lot of them.
So,
I can't tell you nowhere near how many, but there's a lot.
do you have any wisdom for a young man such as me?
Yes.
What can you give me?
Pay attention to instruction. Learn as much as you can. You need the Bible, I believe. I don't know which version you may be interested in, but you need that. And you need to kind of look at things look at things from a long-term standpoint of view. Everything I've gone into, whether it was the military, whether it was marriage, whatever it was, it had a long-term kind of way of looking at it. And then I'll be talking about that later today when I speak to the people over there in the Fine Arts Center.
Yes, sir.
But for you, I say, pay attention and vote when you get a chance, you know.
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right?
sir. Since you retired, was the transition getting back into civilian life been a hard transition for you?
Not at all.
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. So why do you say it was so easy, even though you served in the time of war?
My upbringing, I tell you, when I was in the first grade in school, my teacher was named Wilhelmina Brown.
Okay.
And she gave me a third grade writing book. She must have seen something in me. I was in the first grade now.
Right.
She gives me a third grade writing book. I mastered it right away. Later on, I moved over into the other side of this little school, elementary school I'm talking about. And then when I finished the 6th grade, they promoted me to the 8th grade. I didn't have to do the 7th. Something about that, and something about my mom and dad, and the way my community and stuff like that, it just provided a platform that has propelled me to where I am now, and I'm still climbing, I think.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Why do you feel like they promoted you at such a young age?
Promoted me
Yes, sir.
at a young age.
Well, not necessarily promoted you, but like gave you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I do not really know, except they must have seen something in me. And plus, I have this will to learn anyway, and I want to learn.
Yes, sir.
That may be it. I don't know. But it has worked, I think.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, everyone, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will have more questions for Mr. Johnson, Jr. See you soon.
For more than 4 decades, you have trusted us to be the #1 college news source that cares for you from the beginning to the end. So now, we're proud to say that we've won the Mississippi Association of Broadcasters Awards. And we will continue to try to keep you knowledgeable and focused on stories that are happening around you. We are Hinds' very own WHUC News 7, named #1 by the Mississippi Association of Broadcasters. And now, Real Talk continues.
And welcome back, everyone. If you are just now joining us, we are here with Mr. Robert Johnson, Jr., who is a 28-year war vet who served in both Vietnam and Korean War.
No, not the Korean War in Vietnam now. I mean, not the Korean War. I've served in Korea, but not at wartime.
Oh, not at wartime?
Not in wartime in Korea, but I served in Vietnam for sure.
Okay. My
Thank
bad.
you.
I
I
apologize.
just
So, Mr. Johnson, I read that you are an accomplished musician. Can you tell me, when did you first realize that you have a talent for music?
Well, when I was going to school down here, I was in the band, and I wanted to be a singer.
For real?
Yeah, people like James Brown and a few of the others was out there, but I didn't particularly want to wear my hair like they were there at the time, you know. But I played in the band and also played the guitar and stuff like that. So I can't tell you exactly when.
Yes, sir.
But I believe that's something that I'm blessed with.
What instrument did you gravitate towards first?
The trumpet.
The trumpet?
And the cornet. And then goes later the guitar.
Okay. Mr. Johnson, I know you came up during segregation. With us being in the 21st century now, what are some things America as a whole is struggling with?
It's struggling with recognizing that there are 5 different races the way I see it. 5 different colors. Red and yellow, black, brown, and white. They all precious in God's sight.
Right.
Some people are stuck at pairs to be on 1 or 2 different ones, whether it's black or white, that sort of thing. There's more to it than that. But I do believe that everybody is someone, is someone, and they should be treated like they want to be treated. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
We do have a problem. We need to work on it. And I think with Jesus' help, we will do it. We'll win.
Most definitely.
But we got to. In fact, we ain't gonna have a real choice. Okay?
Yes, sir.
I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, sir. You did. If you're comfortable, can you tell me about some things you did to receive 4 Bronze Stars, a Purple Heart, also a drill sergeant and combat infantryman badges?
Wow, that's a lot to cover. But for training in basic, I went through the Army's basic training twice.
Twice?
Not because I failed, but because I went through with the Army Reserve first.
Okay.
Then I stayed out after I finished the active duty, 6 months active duty. Then I decided to go into the regular Army, which I had been out a little bit too long, so I had to go back through basic again.
How long is basic training?
6, 8 weeks, something like that. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I went through that, and it helped. And of course, I just always wanted to excel. And how did I become the top drill sergeant of GIA Fort Jackson? Just drilling, just doing my job.
Right.
And when it came time to compete, I won out. And did that. Now you take Vietnam, I'll tell you this. The way I got my Purple Heart over there, if I could have, I would have given that Purple Heart medal to my armored vest that I wore.
Why is that?
Because it took all the shrapnel, just about, and I took some shrapnel in my left hand, which I was treated for later. And of course, I received that medal. The Bronze Stars was, we were just out there doing what we needed to do to try to protect ourselves and also try to protect freedom here. So, the combat infantry badge came about because I was in combat. Okay, that's what they give you. Well, you earn, rather, when you're in combat. The drill sergeant badge came about because I went through drill sergeant school, finished it, competed, won the awards, and stuff like that. I don't know. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, sir. Most definitely.
Right.
My last question is, do you have any regrets in life?
Do I have any regrets?
Yes, sir.
I don't think so. And what I mean by that, if I could have, I really don't know, because see, I have this connection with Jesus Christ. Right now, as I sit here and talk to you, I know I'm recruiting right now people to work in Jesus' army. I'm also recruiting people to work in one of our armed forces or to go into teaching, emergency medical care, police, any kind of service. That's what I'm about.
Yes, sir.
I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, sir, you did. Well, everyone, that concludes another edition of Real Talk. Let's give another round of applause for Mr. Robert Johnson Jr. I'm your host, Zhavian Green, and we will see you next time.